Well, there is new fallout after a legal U.S. resident was detained and threatened with deportation after organizing pro-Palestinian rallies at Columbia University. Now, this case has been prompting protests in New York City and beyond. Now, a federal judge has temporarily blocked the deportation of Columbia University graduate Mahmoud Khalil. Now, according to Khalil's lawyer, ICE agents initially said they were acting on a State Department order to revoke his student visa. But the Syrian native is actually a U.S. green card holder. And as of right now, he is still detained in Louisiana. So legal analyst and trial attorney Robin Nunn joins us now to lean into this a little bit more. Robin, why was Khalil taken to Louisiana?
Yeah, it's unclear right now. Formal charges have not yet been filed, but many believe that the transfer of Mahmoud Khalil to Louisiana likely relates to federal immigration detention procedure. Louisiana is home to several ICE detention facilities, and it's fairly common for non-citizens who are facing removal proceedings to be transferred to places like Louisiana due to available detention space in that state.
And you mentioned he still hasn't been charged with the crime yet. So what legal authority is the federal government using to claim that he should be deported?
See, that is the real linchpin issue here. What is the legal basis here for deportation? The federal government typically relies on the Immigration and Nationality Act. And if Khalil is subject to removal, the government would need to establish grounds under that act for those who are already in the United States who have some green card or some form of citizenship. And so the Department of Homeland Security and the Immigration and Customs Enforcement may argue here that Khalil is deportable for reasons including national security, visa violations, alleged criminal conduct. It's really too soon to say because nothing has really been filed yet. But I think the key question here is going to be whether he is being detained under some sort of allowable basis for some sort of crime or terrorism related activities, or if he poses some sort of security threat here in the United States, which would then make him deportable.
Yeah, because when President Trump posted online about this arrest yesterday, he vowed to apprehend terrorist sympathizers. He's not the only one. So at what point would an act of protest be considered an act of terrorism?
And I think that's why this is such an important issue and why so many folks are paying attention to this, is when does protest become terrorism? Under U.S. law, we are all very familiar with the First Amendment right of free speech. And obviously, there's been a lot of people engaging in, open and public protests towards, certain things that are going on right now in Israel and Palestine. And the government, on the other hand, obviously has a real concern about terrorism. And the government defines domestic terrorism quite, broadly. It can involve any violent or dangerous conduct, any intimidation or coercion of civilians against government policy within the U.S. jurisdiction. So I think this is going to be a really interesting case of whether a protest remains protected under the First Amendment if participants can be alleged to have engaged in any sort of violence or destruction of property or threats of harm. I think that this is going to be where Trump's statement about how broadly terrorist sympathizers will be defined is really going to come into question.
Robin Nunn, thank you so much.